Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio to discuss whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. You can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart and whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. So we are here with you and for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable, artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery. And you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Fiji Water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware to support the broadcast, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at newlifeministriesinternational.com and newlifeinternationalcdc.com. We thank you for your continued support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right here live in 3D. Broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio. So I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, first of all, let me thank you for encouraging and inspiring your family, friends, coworkers, and colleagues to tune in. We have had such a significant increase in viewership that we've had to actually make some adjustments in our technology support because of all of the additional viewers coming on, and we are thankful for you allowing us to come and be with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and for the Sunday sermon at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue at the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809, where we go live for the Sunday sermon at 10:45 a.m. So let me say this, for all of you that have been just committed supporters of being part of the broadcast, we continue to broadcast live on Facebook, YouTube, our app, our websites, and of course on RadioFreeNetwork.com. You can go to RadioFreeNetwork.com /new-life, and you will be connected to our broadcast, every broadcast that's available. Now, I want to just share with everyone, because time is coming closer, we are about to launch our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week internet radio station. Now, we will be playing music 24 hours a day. Of course, there will be slots provided for sponsors. You know, we have to do a little business with the Globe. And of course, there will be segments that will be broadcast, like 3D. You will have segments to enjoy on health and wellness. We will have segments to enjoy on physical fitness. We will have segments to enjoy on mental health. So there'll be segments on financial literacy and entrepreneurship. So we're moving forward with our new broadcast on our 24/7 internet radio station, WKAP-Faith, when you go to RadioFreeNetwork.com. I want to say this, we haven't gone live yet. We will notify everyone, but we want you to stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. You want to be a part of the launch. when we launch on Sunday, March 27th, we will go live. And from that day forward, God willing that I shall live, we will see our broadcast, our internet radio station continue to grow, and we want everyone to be a part of that. So there will be music being broadcast throughout the day. There'll be commercial-free music broadcast throughout the day. From time to time, you'll get an hour or two of commercial-free music. And then we will also have segments, but predominantly throughout the day and night, you will be able to tune in for music that will encourage you, empower you, and inspire you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly become and have the joy of the Lord throughout the day. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you find it difficult dealing with people who make everything about themselves. And you want to know how do I deal with those types of people? And the answer is, don't deal with them. You might find it necessary. Now I'm going to walk you through this. The quick answer is, don't deal with them. If it's all about them, you don't have to deal with them. You might have from time to time find it necessary to listen to them. You might find it necessary from time to time to check in on them. But the reality is, you don't have to deal with them on a day-to-day basis. Now, there are people that you will have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. People that are in your professional environment, that are your external customer or your internal customer. You might have to deal with them, and it may all be all about them, but that's okay because it's business. You don't have to take it home with you. And although we all have homework, and we're all working at home, whether you're back in the office or not, you don't have to take that home with you when they make it about themselves. Now, here's what I want to say to you. When people show you that it's all about them, when they show you that they're on their own agenda, stop dealing with them unless it's absolutely necessary. And you get to pick and choose when it's necessary to deal with them. Part of the problem that we have sometimes is we feel that it's necessary to hear everyone out. We feel it's necessary to show courtesy, to allow people to weigh us down with everything that's going on in their lives, but they never care about what you're enjoying about life. They're on their own agenda. It's all about them. But you got to know what you're dealing with. And when you recognize that, you just don't have to deal with them on a day-to-day basis. People will show you what their agenda truly is. The Holy Spirit might reveal to you before they show you. However, often God allows you to go through the process of experiencing their intent, getting familiar with the agenda they're trying to push forward. And that's all part of our growth and part of our development and our growth, both personally and professionally. Sometimes God will require us to walk on the journey with them until they reveal their agenda. And that's necessary for us to continue developing. It's necessary for us to continue growing. Because you got to be able, the Bible talks about the spirit of discernment. You got to be able to discern what the Holy Spirit is revealing to you, but you also have to have the ability to grow in your discernment. Because the Holy Spirit's not going to reveal everything to you every moment of the day. Because if it reveals to you everything, you don't have to put in any work to develop yourself personally or professionally, or grow personally or professionally. So sometimes we have to go through those processes. Now you're struggling with people who have their own agendas, who, every time you talk to them, it is always about them. You struggle with that. Well, you're not the only one. Join that club. There's a whole line of people. There'll be a whole line of people at the pearly gates on their way into heaven who have been dealing with people who are self-consumed, and everything is about them and their agenda. And that's reality. What we have to learn to do is, here's how we reduce and eliminate stress, is what we have to learn to do is say, I know that it's all about you. I'm going to pick and choose. You don't have to say it to them, but you may have to say it to yourself. I'm going to pick and choose the moments that I'm going to allow you to make it all about you. For people who have their own agenda, if you go through the process of learning what their true agenda is, you will get a better understanding of who they are and how you want to deal with them. Now, everyone's not going to show you their own agenda right away. Everyone's not going to do that. Some people will walk through a process until they feel that they can get their agenda approved. Approved by you. In other words, you're going to participate. You're going to allow them to implement their agenda in your life. And the question you have to ask yourself is, will that allow you to have peace? Sometimes people have good ideas. And if their agenda is to push their idea forward, and it's going to enhance what you're doing, to God be the glory. But if it's just an agenda that's going to make them feel good about themselves and allow them to benefit when no one else around them is benefiting, that's a self-consumed agenda, and God is not in that. Pardon me. Couldn't hold that one back, and because we're live right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, you may hear some sneeze, cough, you might, but the reality is that I know that you are with me and that you'll pardon me. So thank you for your patience. I want to say to our listener and viewer, everyone listening and viewing today understands, because we've all encountered someone along the way. Family members, friends, we've all encountered someone who is self-consumed, it's all about them, and they've got their own agenda. Pure and simple. And you have to be able to recognize that and decide whether or not you're going to give them that much time to be self-consumed, or if their agenda fits into something that's going to enhance the quality of what you're doing, the quality of life for what you're doing. Otherwise, separate yourself from people who are self-consumed, because all they're going to do is drain you in every possible way. Emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, they're going to drain you because it's all about them. It's all about them. It's all about what they want. It's all about their agenda. And we all have to be wise enough to eliminate that stress from our lives. Not just reduce, but eliminate that stress from our lives. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching your credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers, and I'm going to say this again because I am quickly becoming aware that my allergies are bothering me today. You've heard me sneeze. Listen, every broadcast is live, so please just pardon me as I go through the struggle with my allergies today. We have beautiful weather here today. I know the sun's gone back in now, but it is in the 70s, and for early March, that is such a blessing. But along with that comes allergy season. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you dream of one day owning your own business. However, you are not certain how to start and to grow your own business. So let me say this to you. Very simple steps. And I'm not going to get into the legal aspect of, whether you're going to form a C corporation, a S corporation, a LLC. I'm not going to get into that today. What I am going to touch on is as I was prayerful about this, what God revealed to me. You've got some very basic steps to walk right now, to climb right now. First thing is an idea. So you dream of owning your own business, but you've got to have an idea. So you have to decide, what can you offer the general public that is going to solve a problem or enhance the quality of life? That's a very simple step. You've got to determine, do you have goods and services that you can provide to the public that will solve a problem or enhance the quality of life? First steps. Got to have an idea. Then you've got to write down your vision for the idea. Is it something that you need to focus on, trademark? Is it something that you need to focus on establishing the corporate structure that is going to allow your business to flourish immediately? What type of business are you going to go into? You've got to write that vision out. And then after you write out the vision of what you want to accomplish, watch this, 7 years, 14 years, 21 years, what do you want to accomplish? I always go back to Jacob in the Bible, who, worked for his father-in-law for 6 years for one wife, and then for 7 years for one wife, and then 7 years for the wife he really wanted because his father-in-law tricked him. But even in that, he had a plan. Okay, I'll work another 7 years for this one, and then I'll work another 7 years for you and your livestock, and knowing that God is with me and it will benefit me. So he had a plan. God's had a plan from the very beginning for us all. You've got to tap into that plan. So you've got to write the vision, and then you have to write a business plan. After you decide what you want to accomplish over the next 21 years, you then have to write out the business plan. What position are you going to serve in the country, in the company? Are you going to begin the process of developing a succession plan? You've got to write a business plan that is comprehensive, that will allow you, watch this, to either work that plan by self-funding, or that you can present to a lender so that you can achieve funding, or that you can find an angel investor, but you're going to need a business plan for funding. One thing you do not want to do is go into business undercapitalized. That's just rule of business 101. And then you have to develop a strategic implementation plan. You're going into business and you have to be strategic on how you implement every facet of your business. So the administrative aspect, the development aspect, the management aspect, the marketing and branding and advertising aspect, and the operational aspects. You've got to decide what's your strategy for implementing every one of those departments. You've got to make that decision as the business owner. So those are the steps, the initial steps that you have to climb. Long before you get into, the idea of fulfilling your dream. You've got to make certain that, first of all and foremost, you have an idea. Secondly, you have to have good vision. Thirdly, you have to have a business plan to achieve funding. And lastly, you need a good strategic implementation plan. And that is ever evolving. So you're going to implement the strategic plan that you have in place, but you have to implement that. And because there's always going to be moving parts, your strategy, you have to be nimble, and your implementation model might vary from time to time, but you've got to stay on the course. Once you develop your strategic implementation plan, you've got to implement it, and you've got to stay the course. You can't allow people to distract you. You will try different things from time to time when you find out something isn't working. You'll try something more. At least any good business owner should. Doesn't mean you change your business model. It just means that you may add to it so that you can continue to move forward, continue to make progress. Because with progress comes success. And we want to get to a place where we maximize our success. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at their retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need: shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. If you are not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at the retail store. They have everything you could possibly need. They have home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And for those men out there, I'm in Charles Tyrwhitt Attire today. They have everything that we could possibly need. Go to ctshirts.com and The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have someone who has been an advocate for your professional career. However, they often push you out of your comfort zone, and you want to know how can you get them to pull back. The bigger question you might want to ask yourself is, why would you want them to pull back? If they're advocating for your career, they're advocating for you every step of the way in your career. Even if they're pushing you out of your comfort zone, you have to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Because they have your professional career is important to them, because they know that your successes become their successes. So you don't want them to pull back, because if you have them pull back from pushing you, there's going to be distance between the two of you. And you don't need that distance. It's a great thing when you have someone who's advocating for your success, someone who's advocating for your professional career to become successful, someone who's pushing you out of your comfort zone, because what happens is that often in our comfort zone we become complacent, we become stagnant, and we're not maximizing our success. So the question you have to ask yourself is, why do you want them to pull back? And the answer to that, because I was prayerful about this, so that was kind of a rhetorical question. God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life the reason that you don't want them pushing you forward is because then you have no excuse if things don't go the way you think they should go. See, one of the things that you've learned from family members is that if you don't step out of your comfort zone, you'll always have an excuse for why success doesn't happen for you. And this isn't just you, but I'm just telling you what God showed me in the secret place of your life also. But it's not just you. Let's just cover that also. There are people who are literally afraid to succeed for a couple of reasons. Success requires you to work twice as hard to maintain the success you accomplish. That's the first thing. The second thing is, when you are being pushed to be successful, you no longer have an excuse for not being successful. You no longer have an excuse for being complacent, being stagnant. The excuses are removed. You are being placed in an opportunity to be successful, and when you become the best version of yourself that you can possibly become, you're going to maximize that success. You know, we hear a lot about people saying that there's a lack of opportunity. There's not a lack of opportunity, there's a lack of faith. There are limited opportunities for most people, because opportunities traditionally are based on our skill set. So every skill set has a limited number of liabilities. It's not, there's not an unlimited number of jobs at a corporation. Every company has a certain number of employees, and so they hire based on preferences first, skill set second. Should be reversed, but often it's not. And then you have to take into consideration people hire people who are much like themselves. So you've got to take that into consideration also. And having said all of that, you have to be mindful of the fact that when you have someone who's who's advocating for your professional career, for your professional success, you have to then make the decision that you're not going to be held back any longer. You're going to move forward to go as far as you could possibly go and eliminate the excuses from our lives that success is eluding us. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at Fiji Water.